6 years ago, the PlayStation 2 launched, and it changed gaming as we know it. So, of course, expectations for the PS3 are higher than ever. Now, many hope it's like the next great gaming system, but with each new console announcement, from the price point to the delays, it seems that the scales tip further against Sony. Now, is this all just fanboyish rumor and hype, or should gamers actually be worried? It's time for the old PlayStation debate to load. 2x. Sorry, hang on. It's the loop. Joining us via satellite to help us make sense of it all from New York, AOL Games editor Libby Goad is here. From Los Angeles, video games editor for Geek Monthly Paul Semmel, and from San Francisco, the executive editor for IGN, Aaron Bolding. Welcome to the loop, everybody. It's time to get dirty. I have a feeling a lot of fanboys are going to be upset after this, but Aaron, I got to say, it seems like week after week, it's just blow after blow against Sony. That we got the high price, potentially slower load times, the shipments are cut, the European gamers are left out in the cold. I mean, is it over for Sony before it even begins?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. All the news we've got about the PlayStation 3 has been negative. I mean, we got that super fat price point. We got word there's not going to be, enough units coming out. So too much negative stuff, and we're, just about 2 months out until launch in the United States. So, I mean, that's a lot of negativity coming towards Sony right now. I mean, not that they can't recover from it, but it's not looking good. They're setting up the drama, maybe. Maybe that's it.
Is this actually going to hurt them, though, Libby? I mean, it's a lot of negative press, but will it affect their bottom line at the end of the day?
I mean, we're really going to have to see. I mean, Sony is a market leader, and we can't deny that, and there's a lot coming up. You got Tokyo Game Show coming up. They're supposedly going to be showing a lot of games there. They will be unveiling kind of their online strategy, which is really going to kind of be key in seeing what's going to happen with the PlayStation.
What about the offline strategy, Paul? What about the out-of-the-box experience? Where's the cable? Why can't they give me an HDMI cable? $600 for a console, and Sony can't kick me a $15 cable? Really?
I don't know. You'd have to really ask them. I think that's just really short-sighted on their part, especially now. And this just sort of plays into sort of the arrogance that's been perceived by a lot of people on their part. They think they don't have to do these things. They think they can put out a $600 machine with no cables, and people will go, oh, yes, master, no, master, whatever.
Well, I mean, Kutaragi himself has said that this is the machine that people will want to work extra hours to buy, and he wants people to want the console that much. Is that crazy? It seems like an incredible amount of hubris on the account of Sony here.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like Sony's making a very serious system. Like, I think they're trying to go and make it like a powerhouse where the Wii is kind of light and fluffy. I mean, do you think that like people are getting upset because, they're making a serious power play? I mean, that sounds good to me. I'm ready to have a machine that can have more powerful graphics, more powerful physics, and I don't understand why everyone's hating on that.
Now, I can completely agree with. I mean, that's the reason I love my Xbox over the PlayStation 2. Is the hardware was better. Theoretically, the experience was going to be better. But
I think
when you take out
Kevin,
Rumble and when you listen to what developers are saying, and I want to get to you, of course, and you as well, Paul, but when you listen to what developers are saying, they said that the difference can almost be negligible, that we won't see these advancements, we won't see the gap in the technology until 3 or 4 years into the console cycle. And, Paul, is that going to hurt them short term?
Well, I think the bigger question is what's going to happen with a game like Madden, which comes on multiple systems? Is EA really going to bother making the PlayStation 3 a better game? Because what's the point? Why put in that extra money when it's still going to sell and they make as much money off the Xbox version?
That's a fantastic point. I mean, we saw that with the Xbox, developers targeting that SKU, or targeting the PlayStation 2 SKU, rather, and so games didn't look as fantastic. Aaron, do you think that's going to be a problem for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still going to come down to, the exclusive titles, the things that, you can only play on PlayStation 3. Are those games going to look head and shoulders above anything else out there? That's really what you have to look at. I mean, saying we're going to work extra hard late nights just to have the money to afford this, we don't have any choice if you want PlayStation 3. And so when I put down my $600, I want to make sure I'm getting something very soon to make it worth it. And when I mean something, I mean games, not just watching movies, not all this other stuff. I want to play some games that are above and beyond my expectations.
So using your PSP as a rear-view mirror, that's not going to sell you the console on launch day?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, that's a great idea. It's a nifty gimmick, but come on now. I mean,
no, you're right.
Let's talk about the
real
money I'm paying
exclusive
here.
games are what's going to sell this console. So when it comes out, day and date, in North America or Japan, you can go out, you can grab the console. What's going to be the system seller, Libby? Is it Warhawk? Is it Motor Storm? Are those enough to go up against a Gears of War from what you've seen and heard?
I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but, I can't say that those will sell systems. Metal Gear Solid seems like their best bet right now, but, until then. But then again, look at the other systems. What are their exclusives that's selling them? I mean, we're still waiting for Halo 3. Bring it on already.
That's true. Paul, what do you think? Halo 3 is obviously still in Microsoft's arsenal here, but can the Wii and the 360 expect to compete with the brand name and the understanding that the titles will be coming for the PlayStation 3?
I think so. That's the sort of the weird thing about this debate is the launch doesn't really matter. Really you want to see what happens over the next 3-4 years. And I quite frankly think that it's going to be like a three-way race eventually, but that Sony will still come out ahead because they're still the brand leader in this. It's still sort of the euphemism for video games. And I think that ultimately... Sorry, Libby?
It still seemed like Sony has made a system that's, ready to go the long term. Like, is the Wii going to be really cool in 6 years? I don't know. The PlayStation 3 seems like it has a certain longevity built in, which is kind of really the hallmark of a next-generation system in my mind.
I think that's the point. But time is going to tell the story of which console obviously has the hardware, the software, and the online strategy, which we didn't even have time to get to. But it's going to be really interesting to see how things play out. Of course, Microsoft and Nintendo, they're both waiting like vultures for Sony to screw this one up. So time's ticking, buddy. Don't disappoint, Mr. Kutaragi. Let's get on it. Thanks to our guests, Libby, Paul, and Aaron, for keeping us all in the loop.